Boom! Coming in hot, Chinchy. What's going on, brother?
Coming in hot on the road again. Casey's on the road. He's making
Can't wait to get on the road again.
nice, dude. We got so much to get to today. Did you have a good weekend? First question.
Great weekend, dude. Yeah, great weekend. A lot of fun, dude. You know what? Tell you the truth, there's a lot of fun watching the. I was bummed Kent State wasn't in it, but the NCAA regionals was on, and got a chance to watch my man Sam Miller in Columbia, baby.
Yeah, dude.
They knocked around Southern Miss.
Unbelievable, dude. It's a great program right now. I'm proud of them, dude. Proud of those dudes. They play hard.
Yeah, dude. That's a good program, and Sam was Ivy League Player of the Year. We talked about that, and hopefully we'll see what happens with him and Jake. As dads, my buddy Mark. We've been just hanging out all the years raising the kids, and then they get to a point now, 21, 22 years old, they have a chance to kind of go out in the real world, and baseball could be an option. That's just a really cool thing,
Yeah, your kids have good genes. He looks like Paul O'Neill, your boy, a little bit.
Ah, dude, jacked. I always said that. I always joke around with Mark. I'm like, dude, you're like 50 years old, you don't work out, and you're jacked. What's going on here? Like his wife Rachel, works out. She's like, CrossFit. 5 days a week dominating. Mark doesn't do anything, takes his shirt off. Like, what are we doing? He's got 17 abs.
Anyway, so we had the Hollywood matchup we wanted. New York, LA, East Coast, West Coast. Overall, at the end of the series, the Dodgers put a whooping on the Yanks. However, Yankees, you got to give them credit. If they lost last night, New York media and the LA media would have been a troll fest all over the place. Yankees pulled one out in the last game, beating their ace. And Judge and Ohtani are Judge and Ohtani. They are the two greatest players in the world. This is like, I always, you hear the stories. Your dad probably told you stories about Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, who was better. We got our guy. Our guy's better than your guy. It is such a great time for baseball to have not one, but two physically and on the stat sheet, larger than life baseball players.
Yeah, two monster humans, and one's a lefty, one's a righty. One's on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast. One plays for the biggest team in the AL, one plays for the biggest team in the NL. It's awesome, man. It's great.
Worldwide, one's from the eastern side of the planet, the other's from the western side of the planet. It's everything. It's perfect.
Right. It legitimately worldwide, man. It's really exciting, man, and they delivered. Especially that it was a game one in the first inning. Judge goes deep, then Ohtani goes deep. It's like, you couldn't script it any better, bro.
You couldn't script it any better. Great calls on the broadcast.
How many Judge? He had 3 bombs in that series. I think did Ohtani have? Ohtani had at least 2.
Yeah, and Judge went 5 for 13. They're both the greatest, and Ohtani hasn't pitched yet. We have to keep reminding ourselves. Ohtani in the second half of the season is going to pitch. Big Papi, by the way, on a pregame show said, come back as a closer, Ohtani. You've said that.
Listen, if you want the guy to play every day, you want to talk about impacting more and more games. I guarantee he'd close out 40 games a year.
I wonder if he can throw
40 games. What if he was Chinch? What if he was a 40-40-40 or a 50-50? 50 homers, 50 homers, 50 stolen bases, and 50 saves, dude. Are you kidding me?
That's a great idea. Let's talk him into that.
50. What if he ends up closing one of these days, and he's the best closer in the game, best power hitter, best base runner, and best closer?
That'd be unbelievable. That is a great concept. Dude, we're putting this out as a clip, and we're going to tag Shohei.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The first 50-50-50 guy. One of the 50s is pitching.
Great idea. Meanwhile, keep the good momentum going. We have a superstar in the making being called up by the Kansas City Royals, and it's great. Forget service time. Forget keeping guys down for money. Royals are a mid-market team. They're the type of team that should, on paper, keep their best player down so they don't have to pay him that big contract. Jack was like, nope, I'm too good. I'm hitting too good. You got to bring me up.
Jac Caglianone, you want to talk about forcing the hand. I was always told when I was in the minor leagues, hey, force the hand. Be so good that they have to either do one of things, trade you or call you up. And Jac Caglianone, obviously they weren't going to trade him. So they're like, oh, you're hitting 15 bombs in 50 games? What is this, SEC? You know what I mean? Is this a regional? Is this Florida? Like he hit 322. He had over right around 1,000 OPS, 15 bombs, 56 ribbies in 50 games, double A, triple A, Chinch. So like movement, and I mean some bombs, some absolute bombs. This guy rakes. You want to talk about? He was supposed to be the Ohtani of that draft, of that last draft. You know what I mean? Like so. So you want to talk about a guy that was a star pitcher at Florida, and also a star first baseman, but now he's just hitting, and it's like, oh, this is what you are when you just hit. So it's good for that lineup too. That lineup, they need more pop in that lineup. They need a guy that can hit the ball at the ballpark. Dude, Kauffman Stadium, not an easy place to hit the ball at the ballpark. You gotta hit it there. So when you have a guy like Caglianone that has light tower power, you know. He's an exciting player, dude. He is an exciting player.
It's great. And also, look, this is another thing. The Royals are saying, like, hey, yes, we're 8 games out. The Tigers are world beaters. They're 39-21 right now, but Kansas City's 31-29. It's not like they've started the season terribly. So, hey, bring up your best player. Let's go. Let's party with them. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, they're sitting right there, dude. They're sitting right there, and I agree, man. I agree. It's time. JJ Picola looked and said, you know what? Why do we have our best power hitter sitting down in AAA, and we just keep saying, hey, he's a great prospect. You know, they called him up late enough in June. I don't know how that affects him as far as like, free agency goes and stuff like that. You know, teams like to start the clock a little later, but I mean, he just got drafted last year, so it definitely is the right time for him to, like, you know, get a couple months in the minors and then see if you're ready. And turns out he is.
Yeah, and listen, with the Red Sox slow start, with the Rangers slow start, both under 500 a little bit, never too early to talk wild card. Kansas City Royals are 1 game behind the Twins, Astros, and Guardians right now for that AL wild cards. This is a playoff atmosphere. They did the wild card the way they did it so that, look, it's a residual effect of the wild card having a lot of teams in it. Bring up your young guys. If you need them, bring them up. It's good for baseball. Good job.
Every game matters, Chinch. You're right. Every game matters. So, like, okay, you're 31-29. Yeah, you got 100 games to go, 102 games to go. Now, you know, you got to look at the, that every game matters. Bring up your best players, you know?
Yeah. What do you got? Housekeeping? What's going on?
I think it's Jake. Hang on.
Housekeeping? You want me to fluff that off? Let's see. Hold on. All right, we're back. There you go. You get all your towels and everything you need. Nice. All right, so we got all the feel-good stories out of the way. One ugly part of the weekend, umpire talk. When you're talking about umpires, it's not good. Taylor Walls gets ejected yesterday. Doesn't like a pitch call. Taps his helmet. As soon as he taps his helmet, he gets tossed by the home plate umpire, which, not a good look. And I can only imagine that the league office is going to tell the umpires, like, hey, this is what we put this rule in effect for. You can't be taking it personally, I guess.
The tapping the helmet of the check the call.
Yes.
Dude, did you see the replay?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, you know, listen, there's also umpire training. There's also, like, sensitivity training. If you're going to be an umpire in the big leagues, like, you got to be able to lock it in and not throw out players that people are paying. It's $15 billion industry, and you are managing the game. Nobody wants to see umpires that can't control themselves emotionally tossing dudes out. Like, it's actually frustrating. I think it's happening more and more nowadays of guys throwing guys out. You can't say anything to these guys anymore. Oh, you're out of here. You know, oh, you were tapping your helmet. Dude, who cares? Let the players play. Like, did you see the other day with Correa's on deck, and all of a sudden that guy, he tosses Correa from on deck? Managers are getting tossed, trying to come out and save their players more and more nowadays. I saw another clip with Doug Eddings, Skeens, a pitch outside. I don't know if he was walking off the mound, and Doug Eddings comes out. He starts saying, "Oh, you're walking off the mound." Like, hey, if you're going to be, you chose to be an umpire. Okay, no one asked you to be. You chose to be an umpire. Part of being an umpire is being able to take a little bit more and do everything you can to keep players in the game and get your ears out of the on-deck circle and out of the dugouts. Everyone, these guys it's more sensitive than ever, I think, in 2025. you can't say anything to anybody without getting tossed out of the game. Like, you have to have more restraint. You have to be tougher. Actually, you have to be more resilient as an umpire. You have to be more emotionally resilient as an umpire. There has to be more training. If guys are just tossing guys out for what they're tossing them out lately, we got to get better. The umpires need to be better as far as getting a little tougher and locking in to not just throwing players out of the game because your feelings are hurt. Hey, guess what? You're an umpire. I hate to say it, and I love umpires. I love those guys. They're great guys. But at the end of the day, you're not a home team. You're not a visiting team. So you have to be able to take a lot more, than, you're going to be getting shots at you.
Yeah.
And your emotional resilience has to be way more than the average person. And especially if you chose to be a big league umpire, you have to be able to take more arrows than anyone else. And you can't just be like, you're out of here. Like, what are we doing?
Right. Tuck your rabbit ears in, number one. Number two, if the players have to have accountability, Sean Casey plays a bad game, makes an error, loses a game. What happens after the game? You got to go and own that. There are a lot of people saying, hey, maybe the umpire should have a meeting after the game where the reporters can talk to them and get the results. That's one thing. Second part, take a page from Bill Miller, the umpire, a couple weeks ago. Did you see that? He had a hot mic and he's cursing himself out because he missed a call. That's the kind of umpire you want. Like, I bleeped up, man. It's my fault. I bleeped up. When an umpire says that to you, it alleviates your tension. Like, you're still mad at him, but you're like, human error. Move on.
Well, dude, listen. These umpires are the best in the world. They really are, dude. The big league umpires are the best in the world. They so
fast.
Eyes.
It's so fast, right? How fast?
It's incredible how good they are. Especially after watching Division I baseball umps. I'm like, whoa. I remember going down to AAA for AA, AAA, and after being in the big leagues, going down for a rehab, I'd come back and thank John Hirschbeck and the boys and say, thanks for being so great. They're the best. The tossing guys out, I just feel like it's happening more and more. Something's not right here. So I'm saying, let's clean it up a little bit. Let's clean that up a little. Let's get better. Let's look in the accountability mirror, turn around and say, hey, listen, we need to be a little tougher out there because everything that somebody says, you can't just toss them out of the game.
There you go. I agree. Okay, we've said it all, dude. Have a wonderful day. It's the start of the week. We're fired up in the mayor's office. We're going to be here all week.
Yes. It's going to be a great week, dude. And man, I'm fired up. What are you doing today, Chinch?
I might try to get outside and start a new gig.
Hey,
dude, it's unbelievable. This weather has been poop soup, as Sean Casey calls it, for the past weekend. Dude. It's going to be sunny and semi-warm out here. Let's get the heat going. Let's go.
Dude, it's June 2nd. I feel like I had to turn the heat on in my house here today.
I thought the ice caps are melting. Apparently they're not. Crying out loud. All right. Let's get after it.
Love it. All right, Chinch, have a great day. Everyone out there, appreciate you listening. Really appreciate subscribe, download if you can because it's free for everybody. Love you, bro. See you tomorrow.